Here with the legendary Pat Croce. Pat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Colin. Although everyone should know I call him Trey
Why?
because his grandfather was the bull, his father is bull, and this bull is the Trey, the third bull. So he goes by Trey to me.
Where did we meet? Because I know where we met. We met at the Half Shore All Bar, I should say, but at that little table, which no longer exists, but it's still got that little corner right there.
Well, the half shell exists,
But
that little table doesn't, because we changed the food to make it more receptive.
Yes.
And welcoming. But you were a little puppy then, well, a big puppy, you and your brother, and there was a tray of oysters and clams and crab and lobster. I thought you were feeding a party and it was for the two boys.
And then we'd take the shells and the shrimp and go out back and feed the snapper. And if I ate enough food, which is so crazy, and I would go down the bar and say, don't throw your shrimp shells away. Don't do it. You could get you could get a nurse shark in, or maybe a tarpon in, because there was enough chaos where they'd be curious to see what's going on and who's getting fed. So I love that place. We're excited to go a little later today. But I guess really the first main thing for me is, and I asked you, I said, what should I ask John, your partner here? And you said, why Key West? How Key West? How'd you find this place? And I asked the same thing to you today.
Mine was easy. My son was 8 or 10, Michael, and I had taken my daughter Kelly to LA. I had to do something with Disney. It was this 10 every 10, this exercise program that I created for schools across the country, and Sport Goofy was going to be part of it. And so we went to LA. Now I had to take my son, who's 2 years younger, on something, and so we were going to go to the Poconos in Pennsylvania for a ski trip. I don't ski, he doesn't ski, but we thought we'd give it a try. But it was a raining, warm February. So I said, well, instead, let's go to Key West and look for Jimmy Buffett. We were Jimmy Buffett fans, and that was it. My buddy Joe Masters.
Yeah.
We called Joe and said, we're going to Key West. You want to come? And we came down here, and believe it or not, we went into Margaritaville with the presumption that we would find him. And damn if he wasn't sitting in the corner having lunch. I go up to him and ask him for a picture, and he says, well, when I'm done. Well, when he's done eating, he knocks me on the shoulder, he goes outside, and Joe, Michael, my son Michael, and I have a picture with Jimmy 35 years ago, whenever it was, 30.
Wow.
Yeah, 35 years ago. And then we become friends eventually when I'm running the Sixers. In '96, I bring him a jersey with Buffett on the back and a #1, and he wears it as an encore.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, when you got down here, did your entrepreneurial spirit, that hustle, that grind, that passion you have, just say, I can do something here? Or what was the vibe like after that visit? When was the next visit?
So we would come every year, President's Day,
Yep.
President's Weekend. So it wasn't until I retired after the Sixers that I decided to move here. And then at the time, you're right, that entrepreneurial urge, that play of energy within me thought, whoa, look at these cruise ships, look at all these tourists. And that's when I started to plant the bug, and okay. I had already retired from the sports medicine world in '95. Then '96 to 2001, that worst of first journey with the 76ers where Shaq took us in the finals. Then I left, retired again, and then I came down here and started the hospitality business.
Yeah. I have to ask, did you meet Kobe? Did you meet Shaq?
Oh yeah, no. I know Kobe well.
Yeah.
Kobe's from Lower Merion. People were upset that I did not pick him in the 1996 draft when I won the lottery. I won the #1 pick. Obviously we picked Allen Iverson, the answer. But people were upset that, some people were upset, not Philadelphians, because he had just graduated from high school. He went 14th in the 14th pick. However, if I would have picked him, they would have shot me.
And it's probably good for him, from speaking from experience, and I was no Kobe Bryant and I was no first round pick by any means. But when you're a young puppy and you stay close to home and people start coming out of the woodwork and you got to take care of your own, you're expected to take care of your own once you make it, no matter what background you come from. I was with the Giants and I struggled with that. Early on, I thought I was doing a good thing. I had 30, 40 people at practice. Then we found out later down the line, I'm like, I had no time to recover. I had no time to focus on me and what it took to be successful, which I found out later I needed to have that focus a little bit better. I digress. picked
No,
out.
but that's important. That's really
Yeah.
important to note that there's so much stress in the sport itself, especially professional sports,
Oh, yeah.
that you placed undue stress on yourself because now you have to care for
Yeah.
22, 42 other people. No.
No.
This is a time where you have to focus on yourself. And there's nothing wrong with focusing on yourself first.
No.
What do they say when you're in an airplane? If the oxygen lowers, you take a mask and you put it on yourself first before you take care of your kids.
Yeah, that's a great point. No doubt. I had to go, wasn't the plan to go sports, but there's somebody, that's a whole nother show for you and I down the line. But we're sitting here in, is this your bench? Is that what
Well,
we call
no,
it?
it's not my bench. It's the deli's bench across the street from the Green Parrot bar, but I call it my office. This is my office. So if my wife knows, I told her I'm going to be at the office with Trey right now. Come on, bring the dogs down. Because I would sit here during my reign of running the businesses down here, and I would just sit and watch the wild, wacky world of Key West passing by. But at the same time, whether it was sound check at 5:30 or the live show at 10:30, I could just sit here and watch the ambiance, watch the dance instructors. That's what we called our bouncers. The dance instructors, guiding people around. Like, it wasn't about fighting. Here, you let people go, you let them move. It's almost like flowing with the Tao. You flow with the universe. So we rarely have problems at the Green Parrot, although, it's probably one of the most popular bars in America.
No doubt. And I think the one thing is when you're sitting on these corners in Key West, there's a lot of them. One of my favorites is sitting at B.O.'s Fish Wagon, getting a cold beer and a cracked conch sandwich and just sitting. And the ecosystem, it's almost like you're sitting at the bottom scuba diving about 30, 40 feet deep. The reef's right here. And you want to go see this and go see that, but really the best diving's right below the boat. And now you're just right below the boat, which is the Green Parrot, the boat.
What a great metaphor.
And you just let it all come to you. Let the fish come to you.
Well, see, you know what? That's really important. There's even a better metaphor, like you're talking about, for presence.
Yeah.
When who you are, Trey, is in the now, you let the world, the universe flow through you, as opposed to go trying to control, manipulate, and make your way. You open your hands up and you allow the world to flow through you. That's really important. A lot less stress and a lot more productivity with totally less effort.
How did this bar flow through you, find you, if you will?
Oh, that's good. So I was down here, we had the rum barrel, we may have had half shell and turtle crawls at the time. And we were always friends. John Vagnoni, I was always a friend. He's Upper Darby. I grew up in Lansdowne, which was adjacent township in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And when Jim had died, the owner had died, and his wife was thinking of selling. We share the same accountant, Kevin Zolch, KZ, and we had found out about it, and I just went right at it. Like everything else, when I went after the Sixers, I went at it with a limitless amount of energy and
What's
a
that
focus.
mean? Tell us what that is. What's the secret to that? Not the secret, because it's presence, right? But
I'll tell you what it is.
what is it?
It's a 3-word mantra. Follow your enthusiasm. And with your enthusiasm, you can't go wrong, because even if you don't achieve your ultimate goal, the journey was a success unto itself. That's really important. If you're following your enthusiasm, if you're all attached in expectations to the end game, you can suffer along the way and not get it, and you suffer more. In the spiritual world, they call that dukkha. The Buddha would call that dukkha. Suffering is dukkha. No! Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You don't need dukkha. You can eliminate dukkha by following your enthusiasm. And when an opportunity presents, and that's really important, an opportunity like the Green Parrot Bar, be open, available, and aware. Whoa! And then you can jump on it.
And you did.
And make it happen, yeah. And then, there's trouble, there's obstacles, there's detours, there's,
You got to make an audible every once in a while.
Oh, great. You got to make an audible.
You really got to. And what an audible this place is. It's funny, I'm looking things up before, and I'm learning about John. Obviously, you and I have a close relationship and know a ton about your history and your past. But the one thing, I just Googled, the Green Parrot. And when people Google enough questions, things come up that are like the normal question that people Google. And one of the questions was, what makes the Green Parrot so special? Right? Because if you're an out-of-towner and people say Green Parrot, well, I'll look it up. I asked you the same question that Google kind of spit out at me today. What makes the Green Parrot so special?
John Vagnoni. No, truly, John is the soul of the Parrot. He's been here 50 years on this corner between Southern and Whitehead. This is really, he is the curator of the Green Parrot. And one thing people were concerned about when I bought it, 15 years ago? And I only bought it if, in fact, he would stay on and be my partner. I mean, I helped finance him so that he would be my partner because I knew the potential of this. It wasn't making money when I bought it.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not, it was not making money.
People don't understand how busy this gets. Like, it is not 4 deep at the bar. It's 4 deep at the bar and then 4 deep outside.
But it's important that John is my partner. So is Michael and Jeff, my son and son-in-law.
Yeah.
However, if in fact you're in the hospitality business, you realize that many bartenders can be your partner and you don't know it. That's what it was like before. Dollar for the owner, dollar for me. No. We put in all kinds of systems in place, business systems. The retail shop now is a stone cold winner with new designs. The liquor store, this is all part of the Green Parrot ambiance. Allure, perfect.
It is amazing.
However, though, Trey, it's really to know that the music, one thing, the service, you could be Kenny the plumber sitting next to Kenny Chesney having a beer. But the service has to be righteous. Like, everyone is important, and the music is second to none. John selects music from all over the country, whether it's New Orleans, Miami, Houston, New York. It really doesn't matter. We have a band house so that we can house the band because it's tough to get locations to sleep overnight in Key West.
Wow, you have a band house.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You should visit it.
That's awesome. That's so unique. It is tough to get people down here.
Oh, it is.
And
but if you got a band house, you got a place to stay free. It
Start
kind
coming.
of smells a little skunky in there, but it's free.
What's your favorite picture on the wall at the Parrot, or something that sticks out to you inside where you're like, that's just fantastic?
Smirk.
Oh, smirk on the left. Yeah.
Smirk. It's a picture of this ugly looking guy giving a smirk. So that's what we say. This is really on the corner of Southern and Whitehead, but no, it's on the corner of Smirk and Ben Franklin. Because both portraits are on either corner inside. Because if I sit in there during sound check, I'm not a late night guy, you know that, Trey. I'm an early morning guy. That corner is where I would sit and watch prior to even owning. I would sit in that corner because I put my back against the corner and just watch the craziness, the dancing, the band, everyone enjoying. You don't go to the Green Parrot if you're in a bad mood.
No, you go for the pageantry. It's just like, if you ever walked up to a college football game, and I tie it back to football because that's my experience, that's my past, you feel it from blocks away. You do.
That's good.
You really do.
Well, the whole world is energy, right?
Yeah.
So it's a high frequency vibration or a low frequency. Angst and worry and suffering and frustration.
This is high.
High.
Yeah.
High. You're high. It's high. That feel you got, that feel of energy 2 blocks away from coming to the stadium.
You hear the drums, boom, 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 the whole nine.
But it resonates with you because we are energy.
Yeah.
That's all we are. Shakti, energy.
Like your puppy.
Like a puppy.
What a great bar. What a great place. In closing, well, let's go here first. Key West in general. We've talked about it, we've touched on it, but it's such a special place, special people. Like you talked about the bartenders here, the ecosystem of people that hold up this town, that actually live here year-round. People think like, oh, this is just a tourist town, whatever it is. Yeah, sure it is, but there's an ecosystem of locals here that are fantastic, from all over the place.
Yep.
A lot from Philly. Speak on this town and how special of a place it is.
Well, one of the reasons it's special is because I don't see the racism that you see other places in the country.
Wow, you're dead on, and not enough people say that.
Well, I really truly, you see the Bahamian village, you see the Cuban influence. When you realize that we're all the same being, yes, the same essence, expressions totally different, but when you come here, this one human family, I think it's on this bench. It says our human family on this bench. It really, you feel that, so there's less judgment, less ego, more a sense of expansion than contraction and constriction and this is mine. It's more a sharing, a loving, a caring, a kindness. And I love the fact that we're dressed formally right now.
Oh yeah, this is a big time. We were at Prime, great steakhouse, as you know, and last night I'm like, okay, what's the least formal you could probably be in Prime? Probably your bathing suit and a t-shirt at the nicest steakhouse in town. And you could wear a tuxedo if you wanted to.
Matching flip-flops. You're formal.
What's next for the Parrot?
Oh, I don't like what's next.
Okay.
See, what's next takes us out of the now. What's now for the Parrot
What's now for the Parrot?
is to have the greatest experience that you go in, and if someone doesn't, how can we make it better? You know, there's a Japanese philosophy called Kaizen, continuous improvement. So I have the opportunity just to sit here and maybe suggest something now, because I'm retired. I don't say you got to do this. But I will maybe suggest something if I see something that causes me a little angst, because I don't like angst. You know, that's a low vibrational frequency.
And you have to speak it out though, right?
You have to, everyone should.
Yeah.
No, if you repress, resist, resent, run away from angst, no, it's just gonna percolate more and more until it explodes. And that's a great lesson for all of your viewers. If you have something that bothers you, speak it out. Face it and let it flow. Bring it up. Don't repress it, resist it, regress it in your own self. No, let it flow, let it flow. And something may be done about it. There's always three choices. One, in every present moment, accept what is. See if you can change it with right action, from love and truth, not from a sense of self, or walk away. That's all there is to it. So with regard to the Green Parrot, if there's something that needs to be done, I will suggest it, but I don't see a lot that needs to be done, because John Bagnoni, Jim, Danny, Jeff, and Michael, I mean, they have their fingers on the pulse, because this is their favorite place in the entire United States. This corner of Ben Franklin and Smirk is the special place.
Not Southern and Whitehead.
You can say Southern and
No.
Whitehead. You know what's really cool? What's really cool, Trey? So Southern is a one-way street coming this way. Guaranteed, within the course of us sitting here, you'll see a car come and make a right turn.
The entertainment is through the roof. The entertainment's through the roof. Now,
And then you get all kinds of regulars here, like James. James, say hi to everyone. Just wave. James, say hi. That's it, James. Good job. And what's your name?
David.
David, hi, David. I didn't know you, but good to meet you. You say hi to them. You meet all kinds here on the bench, in my office.
it's the reef.
It's
It's the reef, man.
It's good.
It just comes and goes like the tide. So I keep thinking we're going to wrap up, but I have to ask you now two more questions. Charlie Mack's, a great little place, not here anymore, but you had a Super Bowl Eagles party here that is just one to remember. I couldn't make it, but I heard the street shut down.
Big,
Yeah.
gigantic screen.
Talk about that. Unbelievable.
So Charlie Mack's was our barbecue restaurant bar next to Green Parrot, and it didn't make it through COVID, but it was a Philly sports bar.
Great
It was
bar.
a real sports bar, but Philly-centric. And when the Eagles made the Super Bowl, we had the city allow us to close down Southern, giant screen like the old kind of drive-in movie screens. Everything was, it looked like Mummer's Day in Key West. It was just wonderful. You could see, that's the beauty of Key West, because not only is everyone friendly, but they have their own ties, their identities with their home teams. And so you like to see those rivalries come about. And well, Super Bowl coming around, it's just,
It's a great sports town too, because all the bartenders and locals are from different places. And you have a lot to do with that too, from Philly and bringing people down and giving people jobs and opportunity in this great island. All right, lastly, I know you had a personal relationship with Jimmy Buffett, obviously passed away. I was very fortunate to see his last concert here, at least public concert that I know about, right around this time last year. A Jimmy story or a Jimmy moment you could share that's just special and his impact on this island and this world.
Well, Jimmy was a friend, a legend, obviously a role model, because he had that party energy. He always smiled, regardless of how busy he was. But for his story was, I was always a big fan, and when I started taking over the 76ers in '96, he was playing in Philadelphia, and so I had a jersey made, #1 with Buffett, double T's on the back to spell it correctly, gave it to him before the event. During the event, in the encore, he comes out wearing it and the place goes wild. He's no fool because he knew we took over, and now there was, because the team was awful, right? When we took the team over, they had only won 18 games out of an 82-game schedule, and now this new young guy, Pat Croce, who used to be a physical therapist for the team, now is running the team.
Everyone in Philly was like, what is it? They're like, how many people are probably like, this isn't the right move?
No. Yeah, that's it. So,
Everyone.
but, you
And
know,
at the end, we're like, we love Pat, he's a legend.
well, from worst to first, it was just fun. Well, Jimmy wore it out there, and he was just as excited to wear it as I was to give it to him. And we kept a relationship, so every time he would come to Philly, or I would come down here and he'd be in town, we'd get together. It was just, and his, you know, not just Jimmy. Like I've talked to JL and some of his crew, but Charleston and Snake, his two bodyguards, you know the song, Gypsies in the Palace, it's about those two. I was just talking to Charleston 3 days ago, Trey. 3 days ago.
Wow.
And he's still heartbroken. He's not taking any work. I mean, Charleston's the big black bodyguard. Snake is the bodyguard about 6 foot by 6 foot, just pure. But Charleston is so hurt because Jimmy was not only his employer, but like a father figure to him. He said that. He just told me that. That says something.
That's lasting impact.
You're talking about not only an employee, not only a black employee, not only a younger black employee, but to be treated like family. That's what Key West is all about. And he's brought that MO across the world. Everyone knows Jimmy's from Key West.
Yeah.
Or Key West, music-wise, obviously he's from,
like the native son or whatever.
Yes.
You know, he's adopted into this community like everyone else is here. Like there's very few conks. There's a lot of great conks, of course. But
well, don't let you know they are.
They are. Yes.
7th generation.
Yeah.
Eighth generation. Well, you got to love them. But luckily, I was an honorary conk when I was working here, because once you're an honorary conk, then you can get shit done.
Yeah. Well, we've been fortunate enough to do the Thompson Family Football Camp here, and have had some conk folks put their arms around me and say, you know, you're one of us, and that's so cool. And you know, hey, you know, you've done more than some people here that have been here for 50 years, and that's not what we're aiming for, but it's a part of giving back in this special place that it's just been so good to me and my family for so long.
Oh, you know how powerful service is, Trey. Service and gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, they will wipe the slate clean of any angst.
Yeah. And
you want to get rid of dukkha? Service someone and be grateful for something.
No doubt. And this is US 1 right here. This is going to be Jimmy Buffett Highway.
Really?
The state of Florida blessed it, I think, a couple weeks ago. That
Seriously?
US 1. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jimmy Buffett.
The Green Parrot bar is either the first bar on US 1 Jimmy Buffett Highway or the last bar. Either way you want to look at it. It's usually the last bar.
Definitely the last bar, and you're open late.
Unless you want to go to Cuba.
I've got in trouble here late night, getting tired, let's say, leave it at that at 3, 4 in the morning. But that's the.
I come by walking in the morning at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Have you seen people leaving here as you're walking by?
My crew's cleaning when I'm coming by in the morning.
Pat, thank
Hey.
you. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
You're the best.